What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything down in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. By the way, I will be commenting the winner's name down in the comment section when I post this video. So make sure you check to see if it's you. If it is, hit me up on Twitter at Cam_ATL so I can send you the money. Matter of fact, hit me up on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Cam_ATL either way. All right, because you can ask me questions whenever. That's the easiest way to get in contact with me is through DMs on Twitter or just adding me on Twitter, period. All right, at Cam_ATL. Now, let's get straight into this Week 5 NFL first look lineup. Not going to take up too much of your time. As you guys know, on Friday, I will post another video where we will fully break down this slate and talk more in depth and talk about changes that might have been made from what I'm liking here and all that type of stuff. So we'll do a full slate breakdown video that will post on Friday. But as you know, in this video, I kind of just go through the guys that I like. I build a lineup. We build the lineup together. And then we go from there. And this is the first look first look lineup. Don't just plug in the first look lineup and pray and just roll with it, okay? Things change throughout the week. We will fully break it down Friday, all right? Let's get straight into it. Now, quarterback. Now, it was a bit of a tough decision, I'll be honest with you, okay? I was going through kind of between three guys, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, and Matt Ryan. Here's the thing. With the way Dak Prescott has been playing this season, I understand he just had a bad game against New Orleans. That was a huge surprise. I expected them to do very well at home. The way Dak has been playing this season has been off the charts. He has been absolutely amazing, okay? He has been amazing. And now I understand he's going against a Green Bay defense that has been solid this season so far, okay? But at the end of the day, this is a game that will be competitive, back and forth. It is at home in Dallas, and Carson Wentz just almost dropped 20 on them. So Dak Prescott at only 6,000, that seems like a huge discount for a guy who's been playing out of his mind this season so far, outside of one down day against New Orleans. You could see he was super, he's super focused on bouncing back against Green Bay. You could see it with the after game interviews and stuff like that. That they're really going to come in and just have a fire lit under them. And against Green Bay, this game is going to be a very good game, back and forth brawl. And I expect Dak to be a part of the success here. So 6,000, Dak Prescott is going to be the guy we're going to put in the high five. Carson Wentz, the only issue here, they are one of the highest Vegas totals. He's at home in Philly, but he's going against a Jets team that if they have Sam Darnold active, okay, I'm thinking they might, then he's definitely in consideration at 6-1 because I think Sam Darnold will do a fine job at moving that Jets offense and keeping the game okay. The problem is that as of this moment, we don't know 100%, and this game could really get out of hand, and we could see a ton of Jordan Howard. It could be a game where Wentz doesn't really have to throw a ton. Okay, in the Dak situation, it's going to be a close battle till the end. He's going to be throwing. It's going to be competitive. Absolutely love him. Matt Ryan against Houston. This is another guy that I like. He's been super, super consistent this season. Like, look at his game log. Look at his game log. Only one game against Tennessee under 20, and he damn near got 20. I mean, 0.3 away from getting 20. He's been super consistent, averaging about 25 Draftkings points this season. He's been super, super consistent. In a matchup against Houston, it's not ideal in Houston, but I can still see him getting a 20+, and at 5'9", that's fine. But yes, like I said, I'm leaning Dak Prescott. Now, I'm going to go a little quicker because I spent longer than I wanted to on there. Next up, my favorite play on the slate is Dalvin Cook against the New York Giants. One reason being is Minnesota should stomp the Giants, get up big, and run a ton, okay? I can see Daniel Jones having a bit of an issue here against a solid Minnesota defense like this. I could see them using a ton of Dalvin Cook. Dalvin just went against the Chicago Bears and didn't go absolutely nuts like he did the first weeks. He still got 19. He got involved in the passing game a little more with 8 targets, but he got 19 against the best defense in the league. Before that, 29, 31, 27, he was balling. And this matchup against the Giants is not a bad one. Definitely expect him to get damn near 30 here. I'm expecting a 30-point performance out of Dalvin Cook at 8-4. Absolutely love Dalvin Cook. And don't get me wrong, I love Christian McCaffrey too. The dude's on the field 100% of the time for that offense. He's been getting a shit ton of run, a shit ton of work, and he's also a fine option as well. But Dalvin Cook against the Giants in a game script where Minnesota should get up on the Giants and run a ton and lean heavily on Dalvin. Like they're a run-heavy team anyways, but this is just a great matchup for him. All right. Next up, guy that really sticks out to me is David Johnson. Now, first look with this slate this week, it seems like a pay downish at wide receiver and pay up for the running backs you want, because there is a shit ton of guys about 65 and up, 6,500 and up, that are definitely in play this week. So it's going to be about getting the running back position right and then getting those cheaper-ish, mid-range-ish wide receivers right, and you'll be good to go. So in the first look, we're definitely spending up for some running backs that I love. David Johnson against Cincinnati. Now, David Johnson, man, busted out with 11 targets. Now, I talked about last week how the 7 targets week 1, the 9 targets week 3, the 11 targets last week, week 4. He is getting a ton of targets in the pass game, even if they fall behind. Now he gets the privilege of going against a defense that is bottom in the league versus running backs, giving up over 25 to Carson week 1, 17 to Breda week 2, 16 to Gore week 3, 26 to Connor in this Monday night slate. David Johnson is an amazing play for me. Absolutely love him at 7.5. If they get up, they're going to run him a ton on the ground. If they're behind, they're going to throw it a ton to him. I'm expecting him to catch a lot of passes. I think Cincinnati's going to do a good job at scoring against this bad Arizona secondary at home in Cincinnati. So I'm expecting David Johnson to be involved in the pass game heavily once again. So at 7.5, David Johnson is an amazing play. Now, the first thing I noticed on this slate is there is an issue here. Now, I get Drew Brees is hurt, but Michael Thomas, the best receiver in the league, a lot of people can debate about it, but Michael Thomas, one of the best receivers in the league, at only 6'6", seems way too low for Michael Thomas, okay? Way too low. Look at his prices week 1, week 2, and week 3. 7.8, 8,000. 7-4. Now, I understand why it's dropping because Drew Brees is no longer his quarterback and it's Teddy Bridgewater. But that doesn't really matter. The consistency is still there. He gets targeted a ton. He averages over 10 targets a game. 25, 18, 16, 18. Like, he's getting a very solid share of the targets on this team. And I expect Tampa Bay, this offense is running hot right now. I expect them to be able to move the ball against New Orleans and score against New Orleans. Expect Michael Thomas to have a great game here and for one of the best receivers in the league. I don't care if it's Teddy Bridgewater throwing to him. He still gets heavily targeted. And at 6'6", I love Michael Thomas. All right, next up, we've got Will Fuller. Now, I talked about having to spend down a little bit of receiver. Is the way I kind of like doing it this week, all right? Now, he's kind of been in the middle of the pack in targets. 7 targets week 2, 7 targets week 3, 6 targets week 4. He hasn't had that huge breakout game yet like he had last year. With week 2 of last season, he got 28. Week 3 of last season, he got 24. Week 8, he got 26. This is a big, deep, down-the-field threat for this offense. We know that these guys hook up a lot downfield, and this is a good position here for him to beat Atlanta. Atlanta has been struggling big time against wide receiver 2s, okay? Giving up 27 to Nelson Aguilar and 24 last week to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. Expect Will Fuller to have a great game here. Wide receiver 2s have been crushing Atlanta, and he is an under-the-radar. At least I hope he ends up under the radar. I think he is an under-the-radar guy, for especially in GPPs. I think he's got some huge upside to finally have his breakout game this season. With all of the attention being on DeAndre Hopkins, I think that Will Fuller can get behind this defense and do a great job, and I hate to say it, my Atlanta Falcons have been garbage. All right? Next up, Jamison Crowder. Now, for Jamison Crowder's sake, I'm definitely hoping Darnold comes back, okay? Part of me thinks he possibly will. This is a tough dude. He's been cleared for non-contact drills. Probably maybe midweek, end week, he should be able to be normal. We'll have to see what happens, okay? It's a good sign. It's a step in the right direction after their bye. I definitely think that he definitely had already planned to be back week 5. That is the timetable he's trying to get. So if he plays, Jamison Crowder is going to be an awesome play at 4-3. I mean, the dude was getting targets, 17 targets week 1 with Sam Darnold, which is ridiculous. Now having to play catch up, regardless of who plays quarterback at the end of the day, this is a 4-3 guy. A guy who's only 4-3 going against a Philly defense that's given up 26 to McLaurin, 27 to Ridley, 25 to Jones. All right, Jamison Crowder is a dude who could do a ton of damage in a game where they should fall behind against Philly and have to air it out a ton. So either way, whoever's quarterback, I hope it's Darnold, because Darnold obviously had a man crush on him week 1, giving him 17 targets. But yeah, Jamison Crowder is a good bet to be involved heavily in this pass game where they are going to be heaving it a ton to keep up with Philly. All right. Next up, at tight end, I'm going to go with Tyler Eifert at 3-3. Arizona just has this huge weakness against tight ends. Okay, like if my grandma played tight end, she would ball out against Arizona. Like, it doesn't matter who plays tight end. They just tend not to cover tight ends. Disley once again went for 18. I mean, tight ends have been crushing them. 28, 25, and 18 the last 3 weeks. Okay, that's ridiculous. They are bottom in the league, giving it up to tight ends. Tyler Eifert has not been great this season so far. Week 1 and week 2, he was okay with 7 and 9 DraftKings points. Week 3 and week 4, he was just non-existent. But the good part is he did get 5 targets against Pittsburgh, which is decent. I wished it was more. But here against Arizona, you gotta expect Cincinnati to know how they can really attack this Arizona team. And this Arizona offense is a good offense. They're fast-paced. It's a fast-paced game. A lot of plays, more plays are run against Arizona than every team in the league. They play very fast. So Tyler Eifert is a great bet here at only 3-3. I can see him getting in the end zone and getting a little extra run more than he usually does in this offense. All right, next up, another guy I think who is going to benefit big, and he is too cheap for his workload, is Le'Veon Bell at 6'8", gets damn near every single play the ball goes to him. Okay, whether it's in the pass, whether he lines up in the slot, he gets a dump off from the running back position, or he runs it. Either way, the ball is in his hands majority of the time. He's going against a Philly defense that has been okay versus running backs, but they really haven't faced anybody. Week 1, they faced Geis or Goose. Well, not Goose. It's not Goose. Geis. Week 1 for the Redskins. Freeman week 2. Keyshawn Johnson week 3. And then gave up almost 18 DraftKings points to Aaron Jones week 4. So Le'Veon Bell, expect him over 20 easily here, and at 6'8" for the workload he gets. Don't worry too much. I'm hoping his ownership is down because week 3 against New England, he only got 10. You guys got to understand this New England defense. If you've been playing DFS for a while, you know New England focuses on taking your number 1 guy out of the game completely and making you beat him elsewhere, which is a smart game plan. And they did so here. They shut down Le'Veon Bell in a way, and he didn't do very good. But expect him to bounce back here against Philly in a game where the Jets will be throwing a ton to keep up with Philly. So he's going to get even more run in the pass game than even usual because he's going to be running a ton of routes. Expect Le'Veon Bell to have an amazing game. And at 6'8", I absolutely love him. Last but not least, I know you guys are sitting here thinking, man, like so much, like there's so little money left over. I actually kind of low-key like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 2-2 as a money-saver defense this week. Going against New Orleans with Teddy Bridgewater. Now, I get it. They have weapons like Alvin Kamara, weapons like Michael Thomas, who I do like this week. And yes, I think they're going to score. But Tampa Bay's defense has been doing a phenomenal job at creating turnovers, okay? They have a total of 11 sacks this season, 4 interceptions, and 5 fumble recoveries. Okay, they have been turning the ball over. They've been giving up plenty of points, but they've been getting turnovers and going against Teddy Bridgewater, who tends to run and move in that pocket loose with the ball. I can see him causing some fumbles. Here's their week 1 through week 4, 12 DraftKings points, 9 DraftKings points, 8 DraftKings points, 15 DraftKings points against the Rams in Los Angeles. I absolutely love the Buccaneers. And I think they're an awesome money saver at 2-2. Now, as you can see, I left some money on the table because there are some places that we could change if you feel like. Like you can change from Fuller if you want. You can change from Crowder if you want. I'm gonna be studying this stuff all week long. You guys know how I do things. All right. So come Friday, we're gonna do the full slate breakdown and talk more about it. But yeah, you could do. Let's see if you wanted to go over Le'Veon Bell. Let's see who you got at 7-2. If they say, I want to mention this as well, by the way, if they come out and say that Melvin Gordon's going to be back to the main workhorse, he's going to be getting all the run, and everything's good to go with him, he is an amazing play against Denver, and I love him at 7K. Okay, but we just don't know that yet. All right, I just wanted to mention that right now. I'm not thinking he's going to be full 100% right back to the way he was last season, getting all those touches. He's probably going to get a lot more than last week, which was 0. But I don't know if he's going to be back to the workload to where 7,000 is worth it, but kind of keep an eye on that. All right, Dak Prescott, solely because of the price at only 6,000 in a competitive game, and he has been a monster this season. I expect them to come out firing after that embarrassing loss to the Saints at home. I expect them to get that back here at home in Dallas against Green Bay. So I love Dak at that price at 6,000. Dalvin Cook, David Johnson. Also, instead of Dalvin, I'm fine with Christian McCaffrey. Just wanted to tell you that, but I love Dalvin Cook this week. I think he's going to have a huge game against the Giants. David Johnson. Michael Thomas seems too cheap for how great he is, period, and how many targets he gets per game. Will Fuller, Jamison Crowder, Tyler Eifert, Le'Veon Bell, and Buccaneers defense. Comment down below who you think is the sleeper play of the week, who you think is going to absolutely blow up. If anybody puts some crazy name down below and I look at it and I'm like, what the hell? And that person ends up blowing up, I'm going to find you, I'm going to hit you up, and I'm going to send you money just because you are a genius. All right? So follow me on Twitter at Cam_ATL. Comment down below who you think the sleeper of the week is. And if you pick a guy that I'm like, what the hell to right now, if I'm like, oh my God, what is this dude thinking? And he ends up balling, I'm going to send you some money just because you're a genius and you deserve it. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Friday will be the